Good day, guys. How are you? I'm hoping you're well today. This is Curtis with Father to the Fatherless, welcoming you back to the channel. If this is your first time here, as I said, my name is Curtis, and if you're been with me for a while, welcome back. It's good to see you again. I hope you're having a great day. Something came to my mind I wanted to talk about, and actually, a good friend of mine prompted this thought the other day as we spoke. But I wanted to talk today about friends. Um, how about share with me, if you will, in the comments down below, and maybe soon we can have a live stream. I would love to be having a live stream, maybe once a week or something. That would be awesome. I would love the engagement of conversating that comes with that, or seems to come with that. I've never done one, so I don't know, but I see other people doing them. But yeah, if until we get the live stream, all I have is the comments. So if you will, tell me how things are for you. Kind of curious how things are in other people's lives concerning friends, and I'm gonna give you my 2 cents and my situation concerning friends in a moment. But I first wanted to ask you, how are things with you and your friends? My wife and I have talked about this, about friends, and over the years, the last few years especially, and uh, we're just curious how other people are doing with their friends. Like, when you're kids, of course, you're a kid, you're in school, you have friends if you're lucky, hopefully, and you would go maybe over to their house on the weekend and spend the night, maybe, or you would have, if you were fortunate enough to play sports or be on a sports team, maybe you had friends on the team. And so I think maybe the friend activity would, in our lives, seem maybe to be the highest when we were kids and in school. But since being grown, for us, it's like, once you get grown, once you get married, um, that's pretty well, it begins to taper off from there because, we have to work, we have kids. We've had kids at different times and seasons from other people that was in our original friend group. They had kids before we did, and when they got kids and we didn't have kids, that kind of seemed to strain things. And then before you know it, you look up one day and you're approaching 40, and you don't ever hardly see anybody anymore. Maybe every once in a while you go see somebody for dinner or lunch, or you see them at a birthday party or a church event, or uh, it really just kind of gets down to your little family group that you see at Christmas or Thanksgiving, and that's about it. And for us, that's how it is for my family. Ashley and I, um, I mean, that's about it. I mean, we still have a few friends, but now it's just basically down to just a phone conversation every once in a while. They'll call me, I'll call them. Maybe every once in a great while we bump into each other, go eat lunch or supper or something. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Now, I want to know how it is for you guys. I'm trying to foster engagement, trying to get you guys to talk to me in the comments and answer me, and speak up, because I want to learn about you. I want to know about you. So how is the situation with you? How, in your family, in your life, do you still see any of your friends from your childhood, from your teenage years? Um, if you maybe you're still in your teenage years, how's that going for you? Um, Maybe you're 40, in your 40s like me, or I'm 40 now. Maybe if you would just let me know how that has gone in your life. I'm just curious if other people out there, if you're maybe doing better with keeping friends or having time to see friends, that if you're out there and you're able to still see friends, I'm just very curious at how you do that. Like how do you get your schedules to line up? How do you guys both afford the time to meet up and do? Because it seems it's difficult for us. Even into my early and mid 20s, we would still fairly often see our friends, but by here at 40, it's pretty well non-existent, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to start this channel because time and technology, the world changes, technology comes along, and I'm trying my level best to utilize this technology God's given us to make some friends. I'm hoping to make some friends here, and this is how I'm accessing my real life childhood friends is by way of telephone. That's all we have. It's what it's down to now is telephone. So all of you are just as much my friends as anybody else because this is what we're down to now. Everybody's so busy, and I thank God for the technology. At least we can connect in this way. It's a gift. I'm thankful for it. And yeah, so if you will, please share what you feel comfortable to share down below. You don't have to share your name or any private stuff if you don't feel comfortable. I understand, but to what degree you feel comfortable, I'm genuinely curious, and I genuinely want to know because my wife and I have had this conversation for years about is anybody else seeing their friends? Is where are all the people in our life? Like when I was growing up and all the way until now, like I just had this assumption in my mind that I would always have people in my life. You just assume that there will always be people, and maybe subconsciously you're thinking there will be more and more and more people, more and more friends and family. But for us, it has been rather the opposite. It's just the further we go, it seems like there's less and less people in our life, less and less people that we get to see, and less time that we get to see the people that we do see. I mean, it's just, um, and I think a lot of it has to do with the economic situation. Everything is so expensive now, and everyone's working so hard, 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. That most everybody's always at work, or they can't afford to go out and eat if they're not at work. I think the economic situation is playing a part in all of this also. So what do you guys think? Like, what do you think is going on? Are you still seeing your friends? Do you have people in your life? Have the people in your life became more and more, and you get to see them more? If so, would you please share with me what you're doing, how you've accomplished that, how that has happened and come together? Because that's been our desire, is to have a full life of full of people and love and relationships, and just rich meaningful times together. And um, somehow we've not been able to so far accomplish that. And again, that's I'm hoping to do that here. I'm hoping to build a community and a family here on the channel. um, my little 2 cents about friends before I sign off for today. I've heard it said before, and I'm sure you probably have also, but if you have enough friends that you can count them on one hand, so I guess that would mean 5 good friends. If you have 5 good friends, you're blessed. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that 100%. There'll be a lot of people come and go throughout your life, and many of them will just be acquaintances. You know, um, sometimes maybe you go to school together, you're in a class together as a kid, and you form a friendship, but really it was just an acquaintance because you were both there and you were both bored, and you needed somebody to talk to, and they happened to be you coexisted in school. You had no choice. Um, sometimes
To
maybe
some European their own.
sometimes maybe at work you're on the
I know
job.
it's while at the same time.
Goodness. Maybe you're at work and you form a friendships at work. Maybe some of those people at work will become lifelong friends and high quality, real close friends. But probably a majority of them are just going to be acquaintances. And the way you'll know that they're acquaintances is like once you no longer work there, you never hear from them again. They're that it was there while it lasted, but now that you've moved on, that relationship is gone. And my friend and I spoke the other day, and he was basically saying the same thing, that you know the majority of people you'll meet in your life that you call friends are really just acquaintances of convenience. They're not really friends like you want to think they are. Sadly, not everybody's your friend. A friend will be there for you, even when it costs them something, if they're able to. Now, we all go through seasons in life where, you just can't be available. You just can't do. You don't, you know, there's been many a times that my friends have needed things and I was just in a ditch and I couldn't help myself, and I couldn't be there. Wanted to, my heart broke. That's different. That I'm talking about the will and the intent to be there for you. Um, your true friends will love you and want to be there for you in the dark night of the soul, in the hard times. They'll come help you fix your truck on the side of the road. They'll come help you move and load furniture in the truck. And if you have friends like that are willing to invest in you and put time in you and help you get out of the hard places. um, if you have friends that you can call when you're having a really hard day or a really hard time, and you're just maybe depressed, or you need to be lifted up, and they're are there for you for that, and you can they'll catch you and help you and pray with you and encourage you. Man, that is a friend that will be there for you in the good times and in the bad times. That's a friend. I am blessed to have a few friends like that. And one of them, named Tim Childers, I was speaking to the other night. And, he's been there for me. I've called him at times in some hard times, and he's backed me up and pulled me through, gave me some words of wisdom. And I've got a few other friends like that too. I've got maybe 4 or 5 guys that I can call on, that if they're able, they'll drop what they're doing and they'll come, and they would help me load furniture in a truck. They would help me fix my broken truck on the side of the road. I mean, they've done it for me over the years, and I know they would still if they could. If you have a few of those guys, I just want to encourage you, be a friend to them. And I'm preaching to myself because I know how it is. Life is busy. You're working all the time. You got your own family. There's always too many things to do and not enough time or money to do it. That's my life. I'm always behind on everything. Even so, take a moment to try to reach out and send them and nothing else, send them a text. Hey, bro, love you, man. Thinking about you. Just want you to know I appreciate your friendship all these years. And is there anything I can do for you? Send them a text, give them a phone call. Uh, Occasionally try to get together and have dinner with them. Get your families together. And, if you have that, you're blessed. And do what you can to maintain those, because they're not easy to come by. And I mean, I don't know. Do you ever get more? Like, I guess maybe seasons in life change, and maybe your friends change. Maybe it cycles off. Maybe you don't always have the same friends all your life. Maybe seasons of life change, and maybe God brings new friends into your life, and maybe they do become as good of friends as the others. Maybe they don't. I don't really know. I've got about 3 to 5 maybe that I've basically had my whole life, and I don't hardly see them anymore, but we still talk. And so That's again. This is not just a me talking to you thing. This is a I'm asking you to talk to me thing, and tell me how it is for you. How is your friend situation? How has it gone for you? Um, is your experience with friends and people in your life similar to mine or completely different? I truly want to know. And Yeah, I'm hoping to be your friend, and I'm hoping you'll be mine. And if you have some of those really close friends, how about today? Reach out, send them, if nothing else, a text and say, "Friend, I love you, care about you, appreciate you." You know, just something, just to let them know you still care about them. Because a friendship, in my understanding, it has to go both ways. You have to give some, and they have to give some, and it's a relationship. It's a participatory uh, union where you both contribute. And if you don't contribute, if you don't water that flower, eventually it could wither and maybe even die. And so I think it's easy to want people to be there for me, but it's easy to also neglect being there for them. We're I hate to say it, but oftentimes, guys, we can be a little selfish. Lots of us can, and I just want to. I'm encouraging myself not to be one sided. I want to give as much as I take. In fact, if I have it my way, I want to give more than I take. That's been one of my prayers for several years now, and I'm still praying it. And I'm taking some lyrics out of a song from years ago from Tupac. But I want my life to be a plus and not a minus. I want to be a plus and not a minus in the lives of the people that I know and love and that have known me. When my funeral comes, when my time is done, when I'm out of here, and not even just then, like now, already now, today, and on the way to my funeral day, I want to be a plus in people's lives and not a minus. I want anybody who's ever engaged with me to have always received more value from me than they put into me. Because I know many times in my early life I was a minus and I was a taker. People had to just pour into me and I couldn't give anything back. But my goal now going forward, and has been for a few years, is to be a giver and not a taker. I want to be a plus and not a minus. I want to always add more value to other people than what they've had to put into me. And I want to encourage you to do that too. Do that for your friends, do that for your family, do that to the best of your ability. I want to be known for being a giver. And I hope that this little video, I hope that this channel and this relationship as we go forward, if you choose to join my community, subscribe and follow along, and you talk with me and we start having lives, I'm hoping that this relationship will be a plus in your life. I'm dreaming and hoping of adding value to you. And so thank you for sharing. Down below, if you will, please share your situation concerning friends, your experience, how it's going for you. And I'll be looking for your comments, eager to answer your comments, and we'll take those comments and the conversation, and we'll go from there. We'll continue this conversation. I want to thank my friend Tim Childers for inspiring me on the idea of friends to talk and make a video about friends. It was him the other day that encouraged me to do one about friends. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching the channel. I hope you have a great day, and until we meet again, God bless you.